What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Lots. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Hope you had a great weekend. Obviously, it was kind of a weird one Friday, then 2 days off, usually Saturday being my day off. Sunday, I always jump in the Discord, even if it's just like, hey, I'll drop a Kansas City -1.5 winner and a terrible round robin of home runs. So there it is. Things even out there in the end in the MLB baseball streets for me on Sunday. But this is really our first full week back after the All-Star break, which again, Will Smith, thank you for the hit. Needed that one badly to cover some of the other spots. But overall, been a really, really nice MLB season. We're going to keep it rocking here with the likes, the leans. And yes, the locks are going to be coming here eventually this week. We're going to get back to locking things, but sitting around the 500 mark there, don't want to be throwing out just false pretenses of terrible things when, well, I keep hitting all the home runs for you, other than the round robin on Sunday. I keep hitting all of absolutely every major play that I talk about here. Baltimore money line, that ended up very nice, even with Evaldi on the mound. But that was Friday. This is Monday. So Monday, July 22nd, producer Jacob's on hand. He's ready to rock. He's ready to roll. As am I. Let's get to the picks. Our first game right out of the gate here, Zach Littell, Carlos Rodon, Rays, Yankees. This is just so textbook to me. Like, Carlos Rodon has had some major first inning issues here. I looked at the first five market and, well, it's a little bit inflated, a little bit strange to me, but 8.5 is not very strange to me. Now, Zach Littell, not somebody that I go out of my way to pick on here in any capacity, but it's gotten exponentially worse as the season's gone on for him. 444 expected slugging with a 9% barrel percentage at 18-degree average launch. There are going to be home run plays to be targeting here in nice humidity out there. You got Carlos Rodon with a 10.5% barrel percentage. So I think the Rays, with Randy Arozarena completely back to full health here, I mean, they got to move him at the deadline, right? Like, get something back for Randy Arozarena at this point. Anyway, we're not here to talk about perspective stuff for that. We're talking bets. This is a bet over 8.5. This is as textbook as it gets. I don't see how this isn't an advantageous spot. Two starting pitchers who have struggled. The bullpen's not strained over the weekend. It was pretty lax, I think, for both of them. But overall, this is a really nice spot to attack early. And this is a spot that I think I want to attack. We don't have the money line, run line here, but we're going to see Skubal. We're going to see Detroit favored here in some capacity going up against Carlos Carrasco, and going to be a while till this one drops here officially, but I think Carrasco ends up as the guy who gets the Monday start. And Tarik Skubal, well, you definitely want to make sure that he's your starter before investing in certain books. Again, know the rules of your books. I've been saying that a lot recently in the last month and a half, but it just applies so much when it comes to hitter props, knowing what's standing action, to the 8.5 runs, knowing if there's weather forecasted here in this spot. Looks pretty decent, I think, for weather. I've been pretty on it as far as like, oh, this is a scary spot for some of the weather here lately. But Sunday was pretty clean. Monday's going to be pretty clean, I think. And Tarik Skubal is very clean there up on the mound. I think first five are passed. This is just going to be, for me, avoiding the Cleveland bullpen at all costs if you're going to invest in this spot. But more than likely, nothing comes to fruition here unless we're looking at better than -120 on the first five Detroit side. Very curious where this drop. It's open offshore at a couple of different spots. Curious if they're going to see what I'm seeing here with the Skubal money. But first five, obviously it's going to be flipped towards Skubal in some capacity, but how much is the question? The Mets in Miami don't really have a ton to talk about here. It's a ballpark that's very hard to predict power, and an 8.5 total is a gigantic one to be staring at. And that's really all this comes down to, because do I think David Peterson or Yanni Chirinos are good, functional major league pitchers? No, I do not. I have a conscience, and as such, I am going to not tell you that David Peterson and Yanni Chirinos are good at pitching, because they're terrible. But 8.5 in Miami is always something appealing, knowing that both bullpens can get turned to immediately if need be. I just am not sure what to tell you. I mean, Rogers had a decent enough start on Sunday and then it got a little spotty. But under 8.5, it's just a lean for me right now. Very, very curious to see if this ends up dropping to 8, goes to 9. I don't know what to make of this line overall. I think this is a spot that I'm kind of overriding purely because I don't trust these two. I trust plus money in decent spots with ground ball pitchers on the mound, and Mitch Keller, the up and down I mean, he's not the Stellevator. We'll talk about him a little bit later, although might be looking at San Francisco potentially in the late night hammer, which always freaks me out because it's against the Dodgers. But Andre Palante and Mitch Keller here in this one. Mitch Keller Comeback Keller from last season into this year hasn't been as good in the strikeout department, really, 21.4%. But I like a lot of what he's done. 37.7% hard hit, 6.7% barrel percentage. You look at his four-seamer, slider, cutter. Doesn't really throw a changeup. Has a changeup listed as a pitch, but not really something that has any kind of sample size behind it. But primarily been paying attention to like what's going on with this four-seamer, because 248 expected batting average is up there, but it's a lot better than the sinker sweeper. And like sometimes those get clumped together in the pitches. So kind of looking through each one of them cleanly. And Mitch Keller is just kind of finding ways to be successful. Don't love the off-speed slider. Don't love the off-speed curveball by any means. But everything else for him looks pretty decent, especially the fastball south of a 250 expected batting average. Something that I'm willing to live with here with Keller in certain spots. But I'm not willing to really live with it here, considering Andre Pallante, I think, is going to be able to do the one thing that you kind of need to do to avoid disaster against these Pittsburgh Pirates right now, and that's giving up any power to O'Neal Cruz or Brian Reynolds. And I think Andre Pallante is going to get those ground balls right around a 60% ground ball percentage. 20.1% whip percentage isn't great, but only a 4.5% barrel percentage. If you keep the ball in play here, well, I like the chances with the plus money going towards the St. Louis side. I say this a lot, but you get these 50-50 coin flips at plus money. Don't overthink it. It for me, can be as clean as, well, yeah, Mitch Keller's the better starter per se, but the skill set for Pallante has me interested in St. Louis. I'm very interested in my boy Hunter Green all the time. He's going up against Reynaldo Lopez in these Braves, and talked about the Braves against right-handed pitching quite a lot this season because, well, they strike out a lot. 24.4%, fifth highest strikeout rate, just a 93 WRC plus. You're starting to see guys like Ozuna, and Jared Kelenich's actually been good for the last month and a half, 2 months. I mean, he's been kind of a bright spot in a dim season for the Braves, and Ozuna's been incredible this year for sure. It's a shitty person. But Hunter Green, he's fantastic in all rights. I'm going to look at a ladder up to 9 strikeouts for my boy, mainly because the Braves strike out a ton. So do the Reds on the other side. So Reynaldo Lopez, we could probably put down in the corner as well. But I think this is going to open at 7.5. I think it's going to be plus money towards the over of that. I think we might have a little bit of cushion there towards 8, 9 to be able to find some value against these Braves in a spot that I think is sneaky good for strikeouts for our boy here on this spot. Also going to be looking at Cincy money line, but didn't put that on. Put this on the card. If it does show up there on the Cincinnati money line, you'll find out about it first, and probably only in the Discord Insider Access spot. Yes, you head to the link below, you sign up for Discord, and you get yourselves access to me, to Ben Raza, to Isaiah Suarez, to my boy Eitan Chandra, who went berserk on the weekend, O'Neal Cruz. What an absolute call from the clouds, my dude, on Saturday. That was beautiful stuff. But $14.95 weekly, $49.95 monthly. But if you use promo code Lindy, 20% off of that. So it becomes $12 for your first week, $40 for your first month. Expert picks, Discord, premium tools, all in one package down at the link below. Back to the picks we go. Pretty quick with this one. I almost said my Philadelphia. Definitely not my Philadelphia Phillies. Talked about it before here on this one. Definitely dated somebody from Philly. Don't want to go back. Here we are, Minnesota. Feel good about Bailey Ober and some of the improvements that we've seen of him of late, but I'm still not sold on a lot of our pitching staff. I mean, we just saw Joe Ryan get lit up here, and Bailey Ober. A lot of the peripherals are good, but a 9.4% barrel percentage, 20-degree average launch, and Kyle Schwarber, Brandon Marsh, Bryce Harper coming to town. Trey Turner starting to smash baseballs. Alec Boehm, JT Realmuto back in our it's just a disaster here for my Twins. Although they've been so good at the plate, and Ranger Suarez had some really weird starts that I think we got to start. I mean, this guy was like NL Cy Young favorite a couple months ago, like a month and a half ago. That has gone way by the wayside. He's still got a 2.76 ERA, 1.04 whip, and we saw a nice 10 ground ball game out of him against Oakland. But guess what? 4 earned, 5 earned, 6 earned in his last 3. I'm not a big, like, what have you done for me lately thing, but going up against the Twins, who are outrageous against left-handed pitching, 122 WRC plus now on the season. Byron Buxton's going double dong in losing efforts on Sundays. That was painful, but I think you got to be looking at Minnesota money line here. Really curious to also see where this one shows up onshore. Minnesota money line, sneaky little bit of value here, and Bailey Ober, not my favorite back, but I think we're going to be getting a price that's looking awfully nice here on Monday. Speaking of a price I think we get, Eric Fetty up against Michael Lorenzen. I did not have this on my 2024 bingo card, but I'm going to back Eric Fetty in probably my favorite spot if this shows up as massive plus money. Now, not massive being like, oh, plus 200. It's not going to show up there. But anything north of plus 120, plus 130, I think you are firing this immediately because Michael Lorenzen has been one of the luckiest pitchers in baseball still. 3.52 ERA next to a 4.82 expected ERA, a 40% hard hit across the board. So many issues. And truly, I'm calling this a lean like. I rarely ever, if I don't have odds posted, ever put a lean like as the thing. It's almost always just a lean, and we'll address it tomorrow. I want this one high on your radar because I think the pitching disparity of the two, the White Sox lineup, sure, they suck, but if we back Fetty and some of his peripherals for this first five, more than happy to live with the results if we are getting that nice plus money attached to it. Milwaukee and Chicago need to see the wind. I'm seeing conflicting reports. I've got windfinder.com where it's showing one direction, ever so slightly different when you're looking at a couple of other sources that I utilize here for wind. So couldn't get a good gauge on what we're looking for a ballpark factor situation. And that matters at Wrigley more than it does at any other ballpark, which is why I'm bringing it up. And also why we're not seeing this line posted yet, despite we know it's going to be Tobias Myers versus Javier Assad. I'm going to revisit this one for sure for you tomorrow. But in the meantime, neither of these pitchers are just like outrageous by any means. Assad's definitely regressed towards the mean, 442 expected slugging, 9.2% barrel percentage. But Tobias Harris, he's okay. I mean, it's kind of how I feel about all of Milwaukee's pitchers besides Freddie Peralta in the post-Corbin Burns era. And they're just like okay dudes. Like, I don't understand how Colin Ray is getting anything or anybody out. But Seiya Suzuki, congratulations to him. You've made the bingo card purely because as I update my hitter props, 49.3% hard hit, 16.6 degree average launch angle. Yes, he strikes out quite a bit, but not really a concern with a guy, Tobias Harris, just a 21.5% K rate. I think Seiya Suzuki, 2+ bases, even depending, well, regardless, I hate the word irregardless. I know people use that. But regardless of what that wind direction is, feeling pretty darn good about Suzuki's prospects in this one. And producer Jacob just wanted to let me know I said Tobias Harris about 1 million times. He's up in Detroit now. He's going to waste away his life in Margaritaville. But first bet safety net up to $1,500 down at the link below. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM, you guys want to support this channel a little bit here, a little bit there. Obviously, you know, for me, I'm not getting a huge amount of signups. I'm not getting everybody to come filter in all the time at OddsShopper. I'm not getting everybody to check out BetMGM, but a little bit here, a little bit there goes a long way of keeping these shows on the airwaves. So if you appreciate this content and you're looking to sign up at a great, reputable sportsbook, do it at BetMGM at the link below, up to $1,500 of a safety net. If you deposit and play $50, $100, $200, whatever it is, up to $1,500. If it wins, keep the money. If it loses, get it back in bonus bets. Only if you're 21 and over. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Back to the picks we go. Thought I said Tobias Myers 1 million times, but you know what? Things happen. Things happen. This is going to happen as well. We've got Cole Reagans going up against us. This Diaz guy is actually really, really good. I was very impressed with his start that I watched the other day. Probably should bring it up, but Yilber Diaz, you never know what you're getting from a pitcher coming out of the PCL, but so far 2 starts against the Braves at home. That was the one that I watched. And then against the Blue Jays, he's gone 6 innings with 1 earned to each. Think there's going to be some growing pains, and I just feel way better about Cole Reagans here in this spot. Kansas City -1.5, the only play that I ended up firing up on Sunday. I really want to run this back, but I need some nice plus money here, better than plus 108 on the Kansas City side in order to be backing them here. I think we get it. Looking at offshore number, let me check. Let me just rerun this 1 second while we're at it. Yeah, we like Kansas City -1.5 better than plus 108. So enough of the lean-like crap. Let's get to a like here on something that is posted with a ton of odds. Tanner Houck, Austin Gomber. He's got some ground balls to him. He's kind of an interesting human being here. That is for sure. But I feel pretty good about this over. This is just too... Boston coming from Sunday Night Baseball in LA on Sunday night, heading to... I mean, it's a short little jaunt out there to Denver. Hopefully you weren't traveling over the weekend with that Friday craziness that was going on with airports and strikes and lots of flights getting canceled. But if not, you're hopefully home by now. But Tanner Houck, also somebody that I generally like to back. Can't really back him here at altitude. This is going to be a little bit of an iffy spot for him. to find the same kind of success that we've seen here recently. Now, Fenway's been playing pretty ridiculous as far as a hitter's park this year, but this is Coors Field we're talking about. You have Tanner Houck with a 43.6% hard hit and a 253 expected batting average. Both of those not exactly numbers I'm going for. And Austin Gomber, 10% barrel percentage. Give me the over of 10. This is a clear-cut, fire-it-up play. I know it's a little bit square to have that. And the Yankees over 8.5 on the same card. I don't really care. Sometimes the square play is the right play. I don't have anything here. I want to back Tyler Anderson against the Mariners. I'm just not going to do it. I can't do it. Bryce Miller on the other side of this. This is an Angels team that's, we'll see. Mike Trout, designated for assignment, going to hopefully, well, not designated for, he's going to go on assignment starting Monday, his rehab assignment in AAA. Hopefully he's up there with the big league club sooner rather than later. Doubt he's going to be up there this week, but we'll find out. Tyler Anderson, 16.8% K rate, not really there. If you're not going to get swing and miss against Cal Raleigh and a surging Julio Rodriguez and Mitch Haniger even, Ryan Bliss has had his moments as well. Even in a great pitcher's park, I'm not going to pull the trigger. LA money line, this could be set in a lot of different ways where I'm going to have to at least rethink what I think about this spot, but maybe a first 5 on Anderson as opposed to Miller, but more than likely nothing shows up here. One of the hottest hitters on planet Earth at the moment plays for the Oakland Athletics. Yeah, what a time to be alive. Spencer Arrighetti, Hogan Harris on the mound in this one. Let's talk about Brent Rooker. Now, Brent Rooker comes off of just double dong central, and you had Lawrence Butler end up going for triple dong there right before the All-Star break. And this guy just continues to impress every single time out. Now, I doubt, just depending on service time, that they want to necessarily get rid of him here at the deadline. Maybe Mason Miller, maybe there's so many pieces away where if you can turn it into a bunch of prospects and try to get multiple pieces at once, never a bad idea, but they're about to play in Sacramento next year that's going to play very, very small. Let me just say, if they're going to play at this ballpark the way that it is currently constructed in AAA, you need to have Oakland way higher on your board for year-long fantasy. Something that I'm going to talk about a lot once we get to October, November on the SiriusXM wavelengths when I jump on for that, talking fantasy baseball. And I know it's always fantasy football that time of year, but keep that in mind because Sacramento going to play very small. It's like 110 every freaking day out there right now, but you guys don't care about that here. What do we have here? Oh, yeah, Brent Rooker to home run. I just talked about how insane he's been, but I highlighted 390 xWOBA, 586 expected slugging, nearly a 20-degree launch angle, way over 20 homers now on the season, sitting at 22. Love everything about a 951 OPS. What a season by Brent Rooker. You are very, very good. And the last game of the night, I think we might be looking at backing Blake Snell. Now, there's a couple of ways that the Dodgers end up throwing this one out, and you're going to get Clayton Kershaw back on Thursday. I think there's a chance River Ryan ends up getting the start. Now, he is not thrown in the big leagues here, but he's 25. He's had a really good run here in AAA Oklahoma City, 2.76 ERA, 1.16 whip. I think they find a way to get River Ryan up there just because they've struggled. They have to demote Bobby Miller and Gavin Stone gets lit up, and there's just some weirdness. Yamamoto's 60-day IL. You've got Dustin May with an esophagus injury. Just saying. I mean, LA is going to have to go for some major starting pitching here over the course of the next couple weeks as we get to the deadline. But Blake Snell, we're starting to see the signs, and I opened up my eyes and saw the sign. Nobody's going to drag you up to get into the light where you belong. If it's plus money on the Giants side, just going to be a lean for me here, though, as we need to see numbers, and obviously River Ryan's kind of a wild name to throw out there. He hasn't even been called up here yet, but nobody's really set up to start here on the Monday. We just had the All-Star break. I think it's a perfect time to give him his first MLB start. He's good, but I will take Blake Snell in a straight-up coin flip here at plus money. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Head to the comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays on the board for Monday. Thank you, producer Jacob. We'll see you guys this week. I'm excited to be putting in that work, Devin. Don't give up. The entire rest of the week here, no WNBA. Don't have to think about that one. Looking at Olympic basketball. Curious if you guys want some content for that here on this lovely channel that we have, Odd Shopper. Sign up for that down below. Check out BetMGM as well. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Monday.